Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Menadazak with GMS Ancient of Days in Los Angeles, currently teaching with the small sanctuary in Inglewood. And today, through the Spirit, I want to get into a lesson that is basically going to be a response to a picture that my nephew drew this past week. Okay. Now, for this past week, I've been in international water, so I haven't been able to, really upload or keep track of the things going on across Israel. So I had some lessons that I had premiered just to keep the channel active. But through the Spirit, once I got back stateside, one of the first pictures I seen was an image that my 5-year-old nephew drew through the Spirit. And what it was an image of a UFO, or what the world ignorantly calls UFOs or UAPs, what we know to be the chariots of Israel, or the chariots of God, okay, beaming up people into the ship. And as they were being beamed up, they were being changed, okay? But one of the things that stood out the most to me was the chariot that was beaming up the people had a man standing on top of it, okay? And as you've seen, before the video started, I added the image that he actually drew himself. Now, what was so beautiful about this through the Spirit is that my nephew doesn't know anything about the truth, the names, that he's an Israelite. My sister, this is her child, she knows about the Israelites, but she doesn't really prescribe to the doctrine, which is fine. We know not all Israel's going to get this. We understand that. But through the Spirit, Yahweh Shema Shai had him create an image that correlates directly with what the scriptures speak about. And I just wanted to use that as an inspiration for this video. And through the Spirit, I want to begin in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 39, beginning at verse 25. Okay? And the headline reads, Israel shall be restored. Okay? And when it's talking about Israel, we're speaking about the Israelites according to the scriptures. Okay? Which are you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. And true indeed, we have Israelites. They're in other nations and speak the languages of these nations. But the seed line through their father goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Regardless of what you look like and what language you speak, you too are Israelites. Okay? This thing that we're a part of, this truth, is not about color. Okay? It's about the Spirit. Alright? Now, continuing on in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, beginning at verse 25, the headline reads, Israel shall be restored. And we are being restored back to our former glory. Okay? Because we have been in captivity, in a perpetual state of captivity, okay, under these different nations. And we are now nearing the end of our punishment, so to speak. Okay? Now, the scriptures read, Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous of my holy name. Now, what this is speaking about is he says, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob. Basically, the Lord is going to save us out of captivity once more. But the beautiful thing about this time is this is the last captivity here in Babylon the Great. Okay? So we don't have to look, or we don't have to be subject to these other nations, be in subjection to these other nations anymore after this last captivity. Okay? Because once Yahweh Shai returns, alright, we're going to be changed and we're going to be made perfect. And you will see as I finish these scriptures off how this segues into the image that my nephew drew. Okay? Continuing on, it says, verse 26, After that they have borne their shame and all their trespasses whereby they have trespassed against me, because the reason we have been put into this state of captivity after captivity after captivity is because our people were given the law, statutes, and commandments. And because we did not keep them perfectly, we had to bear the consequences of that. Okay, that's what the covenant was about. Okay, we were given a set of law, statutes, and commandments that if we were to keep, we would be blessed. But if we were to break them, then we would be cursed, and we are now under those curses. Now you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter; it'll clearly detail, okay, the specifications of that contract made with the nation of Israel. Okay. Continuing on, when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. Okay. It says, when I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, then shall they know that I am the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them into their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, save the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. And this is a beautiful promise written to the nation of Israel that's being documented by the prophet Ezekiel. But what's beautiful about this, in verse 29, it says, neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel. And we're starting to see that now. Now, true indeed, it's been happening all the way since Abba Bivin stepped on the scene, okay? But we're starting to see it play forth even more so now, as the Lord is showing forth visions to not only the Israelites, but to these heathens as well, letting them know the things that are to come are all pursuing the prophecy, which is the destruction of Babylon the Great and the deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, with that being said, I want to get the book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 16. Matthew chapter 21, verse 16. Okay. Which reads, and said unto him, hearest thou what these say? And Yahushua said unto them, and this is red letter, yea, have ye never read, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? Okay, now this is a question that Yahushua is asking, but to get a better understanding of exactly what he's saying, I'm going to read Matthew 21, verse 16 in the NIV. Okay, and it says, do you hear what these children are saying? They asked him. Yes, replied Yahushua. Have you never read, from the lips of children and infants, Lord, have called forth your praise? Okay, and this is a question that Yahushua was asking. But when you extrapolate it through the Spirit, it's basically saying that even children and infants give praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? Didn't Yahushua rightfully require us to come forth to him as newborn babes? Roughly paraphrasing. Okay, the reason for that is because children are in a constant state of learning and soaking up information. Okay, they're very impressionable, and oftentimes they speak with no filter. Okay, they speak the truth, so to speak, from what they see and what they perceive, and it's oftentimes in though sometimes rude, in its purest form. Okay, and I say that to say this, that my nephew didn't know exactly what he was drawing, but when I seen it, I immediately filtered it through the scriptures and took that as a sign and a faith booster. Okay, that our captivity is almost over and Yahushua is on his way. All right. Now let's get the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17. And a lot of you already know where I'm going with this, just to show that, these scriptures are alive and they're true. Okay, this is Acts chapter 2, verse 17. It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, and it doesn't take an acclaimed theologian, okay, to really see that we're in the last days. These Christians, these Catholics, okay, all these different denominations and dogmas and religions of the world, they will tell you flat out, even though they don't have the truth of the scriptures, they can tell you flat out that we are in the last days. Now the difference is, we'll tell you we're in the last days, but we can go through the scriptures to prove it because of the things that are going on in the world. When I say the things in the world, what I'm speaking about is the one thing that sets Great Millstone apart from these other Hebrew Israelite groups, and that is prophecy. Okay? Because the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. And one thing that Great Millstone does is we prophesy, and we filter the things going on in this world, okay? From the greatest news event to the least sought after news event, and we filter it through the scriptures to let you know what time we're in. Okay, so it's not just lip service. We're showing you through prophecy that Yahushua is on his way, that we are living indeed in the last days. Okay? Continuing on, Acts 2 and 17, it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." Okay? Now this was written by the book of Acts, written by the Apostle Luke. But what I find beautiful about this is that this same statement, okay, this same statement that the Apostle Peter was preaching when he was preaching to the crowd, okay, was the same statement that was spoken in the book of Joel, okay. And I believe Joel, they're actually quoting Joel, because verse 16 says, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And then it goes on to say about the Lord pouring out spirit upon all flesh. But just for edification, let's bring that out, just to show that, all the prophets spoke the same thing. Okay? The book of Joel, chapter 2, beginning at verse 28. Okay, and the headline reads, "Through the Spirit, the Lord will pour out his Spirit." Okay? And it reads, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions." Okay? This is from Joel, the book of Joel. So you can see that the prophets all spoke the same thing. So when you see all these videos on TikTok and on YouTube and Instagram of these people having dreams and visions and drawing pictures, you should take that as a sign. Okay, these are the things that were written before time. Okay? The scriptures are literally playing out right before our eyes. Alright? Let's get the book of Revelations 19 and 11. Okay. And it reads, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse." And it's not a literal white horse. Okay, white is representing purity. Okay? Horse is representing power. Okay? When John the Revelator was seeing this vision, he was seeing heaven open up, and pure power was cracking through the clouds. The fathership. Okay? It says, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Okay, this is speaking about Yahushua. He is that white horse. Okay? He's coming in a fathership, and he's going to be standing upon it. Okay? And as you've seen in the image that my nephew drew, unconsciously but through the spirit, he depicted a man standing on a chariot beaming people up. Okay? Let's get Revelation. Let's jump back to Revelations 11. Okay, Revelations 11, verse 12. Okay? It says, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." Okay, and this cloud is representing a chariot. Okay? This is that white horse when Yahushua returns. Okay, but the scriptures say they heard a voice from heaven saying, "Come up hither." That's the quote unquote rapture that these Christians and Catholics talk about, even though the word rapture isn't even found in the scriptures. Okay, that taking up is of the elect, not of everybody that believes or everyone who claims to be saved. You have to be elected to salvation. That's why you see the men of Great Millstone and those that teach the elect doctrine, members of the hopeful elect, Lord willing, doing the things that we're supposed to do in obedience and in fear, because we don't know if us ourselves are going to make it. Okay? But Lord willing, us doing this work in truth and sincerity are among those that are called up to be changed. Okay? The same event, the same account, just to show once again, whether it's the Old Testament or New Testament, regardless of what prophet is speaking about it, they're all speaking the same thing. Okay, there's a common misconception in the world that man contradicts the Bible. But that's just because you have a lack of understanding of what the scriptures are speaking about. Because man does not, or man is what contradicts the Bible. The Bible doesn't contradict itself. You have to have teachers to teach you the right way. Okay, and once you get that correct teaching, you'll see how everything fits together perfectly like a puzzle. Case in point, Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Okay, which reads, it says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast." Okay? "For behold, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." And this is going into the last days, when Yahweh Shai finally cracks those clouds, and Yahweh Shemashai enacts his righteous judgment, his indignation on this place. Okay? Now what's beautiful about this is in Isaiah the 26th chapter, verse 20, when it says, "My people," the people of the Lord are the Israelites. Okay, the 12 tribes which encompass one nation. But this is speaking specifically and explicitly to the elect. Okay? And when it says enter into our chambers, that's speaking about being beamed up into these chariots where we're beamed up into safety. Okay? The chambers, when you look up the etymology of the word, it goes into a parlor, a place that is plush and lavish, like a lounge. Once we're beamed up into the chariots, Lord willing, not only are we going to be changed, but we are going to be kept safe. Okay? We're going to be chilling, so to speak. Lord willing. Alright? And what I want to do through the Spirit is I want to end it in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians 15, beginning at verse 51. And this is going into the victory that we're going to have over death. Because the wages of sin is death. That's why we die, because we sin. But once we are changed and made perfect, the elect of Israel first and foremost, and then ultimately the nation of Israel, we're no longer going to sin, meaning we are no longer going to die. Okay? Now the headline reads for 1 Corinthians verse 15, or chapter 15, beginning at verse 51, the headline reads, "Victory over death." And what it says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." And this is speaking about the Israelites. Okay? It says, "In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump," okay, when these missiles are shot off, right? When these missiles are shot off, and Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth. Okay, it says, "For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." Okay? So when the corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, "Death is swallowed up in victory." O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. Okay, but thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And that's beautiful that it specifies this. The us is the Israelites. These other nations don't need saving. Okay, the Israelites are the ones that are in need of salvation because we are under the curse of the law. And Yahushua came in this same sinful flesh that we inhabit, and he kept those same laws and statutes and commandments perfectly. Therefore, when he died on the cross, he was that perfect sacrifice to redeem us back to the good graces of the Heavenly Father. And when Yahushua returns, he is going to change us so that we are like him, perfect. Okay? And although 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed here in Babylon the Great, they're ultimately going to come back in the kingdom through the elect, and we are going to be an immortal nation of kings and priests that are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. Okay? And we are living in the midst of the times now where this prophecy is going to come to pass. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and faith boosting through the Spirit. I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and keep this thing of ours and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. This has been your brother Manatazak. Until the next lesson, Shalom.